a breathing machine that they sent home with me since I have to rebuild my lungs after going through that little situation.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life moves fast when you do what you
only
want.
want to hear my ablation story, and you don't want to see any of the vlog that I created around it, you just want to get straight to the story, I'm going to timestamp that for you. But I definitely want to make sure I do this for my ladies. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Waiting to be picked up from my surgery. And we are talking about how big the polyp is inside of my uterus. So if there's a 4-inch polyp in my uterus, then I feel like it's been signaling to my body that we're carrying, which could explain a lot of things. What do you think?
I think so.
That makes sense.
Because there would just be like, me and my metaphors. But it's like when you open a refrigerator and then you press the button so the light turns off. But it's like the refrigerator's not actually closed. But since there's something still there, it's acting as if it was closed.
And I'm about to have an ablation. This is my second ablation. My first one was not successful, and it was done in a completely different capacity, but I will touch on that in a minute. So we're just checking in for surgery. We were the first to be here, so no one is here. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. We were definitely the first ones here.
No.
This is after surgery. My sister
You're
was
so
with me
pretty.
the whole time.
You're so sweet. You're super cute.
When I came home, my daughter had this pallet set for me, so I didn't have to climb them stairs.
Huh?
What do you need?
A Band-Aid.
Why?
I made my leg bleed on accident.
No, just say my name is Bailey,
My name is Bailey,
and I'm the Band-Aid bandit.
and I'm not the Band-Aid man.
Say I need... Say I'm addicted to Band-Aids.
Huh?
Say I'm addicted to Band-Aids.
I'm not addicted to Band-Aids.
And where in earth is your name on here?
She took it off.
No, I didn't.
Oh!
Stop. No.
Give me your
the
glasses.
doctor.
Give me your glasses.
Didn't help. Look how they're acting. They're acting like wild banshees.
We were just
Okay, no mas, guys, because I need to rest.
a peaceful nap. She was taking a nap
Get your hand off
with
my
me. As.
No.
So, anyways.
No.
What'd you say? I'm still touching the mommy.
No. Your hand off my mother.
Careful around my stomach. You took off my heat pack.
I'm
There
sorry.
you go. I just opened my eyes and I am ready to talk about what happened today. Oh, you guys give each other. Is that your secret handshake? Do it again.
It wasn't. I was sprinkling.
That's so sweet. Ooh, fairy dust. That is such a good idea. I love it.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Oh, by the way, you guys make sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Subscribe to make my mommy feel better.
Oh, thank you, baby. You're so sweet. Also, I think that rapid release isn't releasing rapidly enough. Look at Moses coming. Did you just give her a oatmeal cream pie? I deserve an oatmeal cream pie too. No, but okay, you got the fancy.
The boing boings. What
You
is
got
somebody
the
calling them?
you got the overstimulated going on.
Oh, was that too much?
Yeah.
When you couldn't breathe, you woke up immediately. But you also were hearing. You said they sounded like stair steps. Your breathing sounded like stair steps. But it didn't. On the outside.
What did it sound like?
It just sounded like.
On the inside. Okay.
What?
I purr.
Oh, yeah.
I do not snore.
It was
Sometimes you wanna go Now listen, if you could finish this song. When you like to get away, sometimes you wanna go away. For real?
Is that not the song?
Okay, I'm gonna give you one more line and then you're gonna finish this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody knows your name. Do, do, do.
Ah! I know this song, but I don't know the lyrics. Because it used to be on a show. Oh my goodness.
Mommy, you want some water?
Oh, no, thank you, sweetie. I have something to drink. I'm about to take some medicine with it.
Oh, okay.
After I eat this bread. Let me tell y'all, when I woke up,
And they're always glad you came.
and they're always glad you came.
Where does that come
Do,
from?
do.
What is that on?
You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same.
Is it on Friends?
You
Is that
wanna
where I
go
sing?
where? You wanna go where?
Hold on, they're loading.
Everybody knows your name.
Say where.
Cheers.
Yeah, it doesn't
Cheers.
say where it came from.
Cheers is the show.
Oh. Oh. Which is crazy because, like, I don't remember the show, but I remember hearing it. Maybe it, like, came on at, like, Grandma's house or something.
Don't come back. I'm better. What are you doing?
You vlogging holder.
You need a good login holder. So, she is showing me her dorm.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to move out and have a dorm this year, right? For this semester. And she just happened to be paired with, well, she requested to be paired with her friend, her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very happy about that because I love this little girl for my daughter. They're very similar.
She's one of the only, one of the only, you like Jedi too. One of the only friends.
Yeah, I love Jedi too. I love my
you
angel.
like.
I like all your friends, but
Oh, yeah.
she works with her and
Yeah.
goes to school with her. That's so dope, and she gets to be in the dorm with her. So
Especially seeing this floor plan, I would back out if, like,
could I show you the floor plan?
Yeah.
Okay, look.
Because they all look the same, like, regardless where.
So this is the floor plan, and then you guys get a living space too, or is that all you get?
That's it. So instead of it being like a mini apartment, there's like, I guess, like shared bathrooms.
He's gonna have a better one than you.
Pretty much. But his is like, I also think that if I were over there, I would be paying like monthly.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was saying. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Because some of them are just like cheaper.
Oh, flowers.
White roses. White and yellow.
How pretty.
I know it,
Let me
right?
see. Oh, wow. How pretty. Thank you, Mom.
I know. Super pretty.
Oh, let me see. Come here. I want to see you. I want to show you off.
And she
I want to hold you.
told her and her team to keep you in her prayers. So this is a prayer that she printed out.
She printed out a prayer.
And
My
she
mom's
got
a manager, so
candle.
she told the team.
This smells good. It says unwind. Smell it, guys.
Oh, can I smell it for real? Wait, come closer. And it does say unwind. Show them unwind. Also,
Remember, what?
I'm gonna smell these flowers, but I can't hold them in the vlogging holder. Oh, how pretty. And I can smell them. You're coming over to me with all this baby breath. I know they would smell good. You could take it. I'm gonna put it in my room when I go upstairs. Last but not least, what?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Everybody.
Ooh, let me
There's
see.
New York, Mississippi mud, chocolate marble, turtle, strawberry swirl, triple chocolate. What does it say? Made with real cheese?
I want
Milk with the finest cream cheese.
that kind. Let me see.
This one?
You knew it.
Me too.
I'm painting a beautiful flower. Just like my mommy. She's a beautiful. And she's a beautiful flower.
You're painting a flower. And you watching TV?
Okay, I finally made it upstairs. I have a little bit of a headache. I just took some medicine. I'm in a little bit of pain. This is day 1. So, I just had my second ablation. My first ablation was...
Subscribe.
My first ablation was unsuccessful. Okay, so my first ablation was done in a private office. It was still a medical setting. It was just a private doctor that I was seeing that I felt like was also an African American doctor, and I felt comfortable with him. He was an older gentleman, and I felt like he can do a wonderful job. You know, like I was listening to anything that he told me. So we did the ablation. I was awake. I took like a volume. He gave me a volume, some pain medicine. We did the ablation. The ablation did not work. I think like my first period after that, it was light, but it never really took. So originally, I was seeking help because I was having these horrible periods like a lot of women do. They were very heavy. I was losing too much blood. I was like, this can't be right. And I'm grateful that I know other women have other experiences where like it's a 30-day thing. It's through the whole month. Mine was never like that. It was just those 7 days. And they were like so heavy that my doctor used to call. He would write a note for me because he knew I couldn't function. Not only would I be losing too much blood, it would make me extremely weak, extremely tired. And then I would also, like I was like doubling up on pads, and like it was a lot. There's times that like I would like bleed through and I have on like a super heavy. And so I went to seek help. I got the ablation done. I opted in to get the ablation. We did a hysteroscopy. And, you know, it was like where they put the camera in there to see what's going on. I was told that I had a tiny fibroid and I had PCOS. So PCOS, for the amount of children that I have had and given birth to, it just didn't make sense to me because I was like, PCOS usually makes you infertile. It's really hard for people to get pregnant with PCOS. And people oftentimes, I hope this air doesn't bother you because I'm kind of hot. I'm just going to really finish this vlog and go to sleep. Yeah, I've had all of my live births. I've been extremely fertile. People have made jokes about how fertile I am. Like I could just look that way and get pregnant. That's what my mom says. So I did my research on the diagnosis and I was just like, okay. He also told me that I wouldn't be able to have children and that, you know, that was a wrap. I went home, I cried about it because I was like, what if I want more kids? You know, I felt damaged. And so he also was concerned about cancer. So the cancer test came back. I didn't have cancer. Within 30 days, I was pregnant with my son. I thought, this was like a one-time thing. I thought that I couldn't get pregnant. I was pregnant right away. Like I was still extremely fertile. And then my daughter came. Right after that, they were both in diapers at the same time. So that diagnosis of PCOS, being infertile, none of that was it. It just wasn't it. So I spoke with him before, and you know, after these babies I had, and then I was like, let me see if I could get some different help. I still didn't feel like, you know, I wanted to see if he could help me. So I go back and he wants to do a different ablation. And he says the ablation machine that he used was recalled. So I'm automatically alarmed, like, is there something wrong with me? And he says, no, it's just that they don't want to replace the Freon. So we are going to try a different one. He wants to do a different ablation. At this point, I'm like, I don't want to go through that again. I left the office literally crying. I was like in the car and I just like broke down and cried. I felt like my body had just went through a lot. I was awake during that time, and I was just like in his chair, and we did this, and I was like, I don't want to do that again. So I just kind of held off on it. I was like, I'll just deal. I'll try to do some natural remedies. I became a certified herbalist. I started practicing a lot of natural things. I opened a yoni steam company. I would do yoni steams. That company took off, and I was more like, a lot of stuff that I do, I'm doing it for me. And then I'm just sharing with everyone else, like life coaching, like a lot of self-help books. These are things that I did for me. But once I learned them, I was like, I could help other people as well. So that was why I opened the Yoni Steam company. If you know me, that's why I did that. I also practiced everything that I sold for about a year before I decided to sell it, because I wanted to see. I wasn't going to give it to my ladies, and it wasn't going to work. So when I was yoni steaming, there was like a spiritual release. It was very healthy for me. It did lessen my periods, but when I stopped, they would come back heavy. And I don't know if it's because I had gotten used to the light, and then when I stopped, it just seemed like it came back even more heavy. And this is just my experience. Everyone has their own experience, so it might have worked for you. I have women that, everyone shared their experience with me, so some people really had a great experience. Anyway, fast forward, they're 7 and 9 now, and I'm working out a lot. It's hard for me to see my results sometimes, because what happens is, if you know me, you know that I do a lot of vegetarianism. I work out a lot. I'm always walking, but I have 2 weeks out of the month that I am extremely weak. I'm in a lot of pain, and I can't function. Usually it's the week before my period. Then the week before my period, I'm in excruciating pain. I would never wish that on my worst enemy. It's like a lot of swelling, a lot of bloating, so much pain that like I have trigeminal neuralgia, and it puts that on the back burner. Then when I have that, this is cramping, and then when I have the period, I finally get like a relief, like, oh, okay. So like, if most women are mean on their period and upset, and I'm not, once I get it, I'm like, yes, a whole new world. Like I've been relieved. But now I'm losing too much blood, so I'm extremely weak. And there's like 2 days out of that I'm like, whoa. I've had to have iron infusions, 12 iron infusions at some point, because I lost too much blood. And then they gave me too much iron, so then I had to go to the emergency room, because they were afraid of what would happen with that. But come to find out, my body was able to just expel it on its own, because it wasn't past that limit. But during that time, that means that I'm exhausted. So that means I'm limited to the stuff I can do. People always say, like, you're always doing a lot. I do still push myself, but also start to get really dizzy, because I realize, like, whoa, I can't like fake the system. I can't like push past this. You could push past a lot of stuff, but you can't push past not having blood, losing too much blood, being dizzy, and weak, exhausted. This also goes against my diet normally, because around this time I'm now craving red meat, and I'm also eating very hearty, because I have to like replace and replenish all this blood loss, and I'm already weak and dizzy, and I don't feel like I could do that with a salad. So I'm like, let me make sure I eat.
So it does keep me at a healthier weight than I would be, but it doesn't give the actual results of all the hard work that I put in throughout the month, because I have those 2 weeks out the month, which there's only 4 weeks where I am, messed up. My sister got an ablation done at a hospital, at Rose, and I was like, and she, I was like, tell me how it goes. It didn't work for me. And, she had a way worse situation. That's her story to tell, though, so I'll let her tell it. I don't want to, tell her story. I've been telling her, you should really tell your story. But, just, with fibroids and different things that can happen to your body, and I understand, too, she was just experiencing more than I was experiencing. And so I was like, dude, if I'm like this for 7 days, I can't imagine anything more. So she healed from it, and then she was telling me yeah, I don't have a period. I no longer bleed like that. I see even the health in her face, where she looks glowy and healthy again. At some point she's really pale. So this inspired me to okay, maybe I will give it another chance, just not the same way I did it before, because I didn't have a good experience. So ablation number 2. I go in and I get an exam. I tell them what's going on. Then I get an ultrasound. I'm told that I may not be able to get an ablation because I've already had one, and usually you can't do that. So I'm opting for a hysterectomy at this point. I'm take it all. I'm not having any more babies. I'm still very much able to. But I also had my tubes tied and clipped and burned. And then I was told that, yeah, this girl said I did too, and I still got pregnant. And so I was like, whoa. But I'm no, if I have another kid, I'll adopt it. At this point, it's hindering my life. So I was ready to have a hysterectomy. We agreed. And so we did an ultrasound, and she said, it looks like nothing ever happened in there. You look fine, and we can go ahead and do the ablation. So we go ahead and schedule. Well, they asked me, do you want to just do the hysterectomy, or do you want to try the ablation and see what happens? So during my first ablation, the doctor told me that I had something growing in my uterus. Well, I was like, well, let's figure that out, because it's not a baby, and I don't want my body to think it's a baby and give me symptoms as if it's a baby. So yeah, let's not have any growth in there. We never addressed that issue. We never got there. A lot of these issues just were never addressed. So anyway, during this second ablation process, she says there's a polyp in your uterus. It's 4 inches. We're going to remove it. I also had a skin tag that I needed removed. I actually had 2 skin tags that I needed removed. They removed 2 of them, which I didn't even... one of them I wasn't really tripping off of, but, it's gone now. And so, so we did that. The skin tag removal, the ablation. This ablation is where they're burning everything instead of freezing, which is like a freeze burn. The first one's like a freeze burn, from my understanding. I'm not an expert, so if I'm not saying it right, but this is from my understanding, or what was explained to me. So this is years later. Obviously, this is 9 years later, 10 years later, because I had to be pregnant with my son. And I'm like, let's go. So I'm like, yeah, if we could do an ablation and I don't have to deal with the hysterectomy, where I get it, I still get to keep my ovaries, which means it won't push me into early onset of menopause or even premenopause. And then also, I don't have to, the healing time is quicker. I don't have to wait 6 weeks and have it's a major surgery to have a hysterectomy. I didn't want to, never wanted to, and I was just forced. I was like, my back's against the wall. As I get older and I'm losing all this blood, it's just so hard for me to function. And a lot of people don't know that, because I know I function. Okay, believe me, I know that I do a lot of stuff, and people are constantly like, girl, you need to sit down. But just imagine I'm doing all this stuff in a lot of pain or very weak. and at 2 weeks out of the month. That's just what it is. So anyway, so I go in. I had a court date this week. There was a lot of other stressful things that were going on. So, I have acid reflux, and I don't have it all the time. Like, I could go months with no problems. But this week, it was hard, okay? Because I could go months without problems, so I don't take the medication because I'm usually pretty good. But this week, I had acid crawling up my chest. At some point, I woke up like because like acid had gotten to my lungs, and I was just like tripping out. I couldn't breathe. And I also knew I was about to have the surgery, so I started taking the medication, and unfortunately the medication didn't kick in as much as it should have before my surgery. So I show up for surgery this morning, and I have to tell them this, like, hey, laying me flat, this acid's coming up my chest. She also heard it when she was just listening to my stomach and my chest, and so she's like, okay. So we tell the anesthesiologist. My sister took me, thank God. I should tell you what happened so you guys are aware of what happens. So let me go through that real quick. I'm just going to speed it up. Just for my girlies and my ladies that may be going through this or they're about to do this, just so you know what happens. So I filled out some paperwork online. I did a pre-op appointment. I got you guys up until now, like the ultrasound. It was a vaginal ultrasound. Then I filled out some stuff online. I went in, I showed them any medication I was taking, which was nothing. But I just got off an antibiotic for my ear infection. If you follow my channel, you know that I just got this random ear infection, middle ear infection out of nowhere. So I filled out some paperwork online. And then, I did like some checking in. A nurse called me, went over pretty much the same stuff. I've had there's a lot of people that have said the same exact questions. They're just different people from different offices. Well, what is this? What is that? Are you taking this? Are you taking that? Do you still do this? Do you still do that? What is this in your, any problems? Is there anything going on? Do you have any pacemaker? Do you have anything extra? So I don't take anything but vitamin D deficient, and I should be taking it more, especially in the winter. So I'm not getting the sun at all. But anyway, so I go in this morning at 5 o'clock. We check in. I sit in the waiting room. Then they call us back when they're ready. This is probably about 6 o'clock. And then I get a urine sample, which I'm like, hey, I'm not sexually active. There's no way that I'm pregnant. And I am also, my tubes are tied, clipped, and burned. But more than that, I am not sexually active. So they still do the pregnancy test. It comes back negative. Can you imagine? So then I go into this room. They have me put on a gown and do this little like antibacterial bath, which for my other surgeries, I usually am told to just wash with antibacterial soap before my surgeries, like a C-section. But for this, they have antibacterial wipes, and they have one for each part of your body. Your arm, throw it away. Your arm, throw it away. Your chest, throw it away. Your legs, your back, everything. So I do that, and then everyone comes in and talks to me again. They introduce themselves. It's a whole team of people. I feel a lot better. It's not just one person and we're in this room alone. It's my sister's here to support me. My first ablation, no one could be in there, obviously during the surgery, but just period. Like, I didn't have any support with that. So, I need to lay down a little bit because I'm like, hopefully I could lay back. So the anesthesiologist comes in. I explain to him about my acid reflux. And as you hear, it's still like coming out, and also it happens more when you're stressed out, so I could see why it happened. But anyway, I explained to him the situation. He says, okay, we're going to put you to sleep the same way, but we're also going to give you a breathing tube because we don't need that acid coming out during the surgery. Thank God, because I was just like, I didn't know if anyone was going to listen to me, and I'm like, I know everybody knows their stuff, but this is my first time hearing that we're going to do something about it. So we do that. We go ahead and they put me to sleep. Okay. They put me to sleep. Then they put the tube in. When they put the tube in,
my throat reacts and starts to spasm. My vocal cords spasm. So now my throat is like closing. And so then they give me a steroid to open it up. And they do the surgery. Everything's fine. There was a possibility, like with anything, that they could start, my doctor could start the ablation and the machine reject me based off of, the machine is set to reject me if it's not a good situation. Like if there's holes or if anything else could be affected, that's what the machine is set to do. So that was still a possibility that I could have went under and it still not be successful. Now, mind you, I don't know. I'm asleep. I have no recollection of my throat closing, the breathing tube. All I know is they were like, here's some oxygen, took me to the operating room, breathe, open your arm so you could, we're putting medicine in, breathe. I got a little nauseated for a quick second, I was out. So I don't know that all this stuff is taking place. So I wake up and my throat hurts a little bit, not a whole lot, but my throat hurts. And I'm immediately like, before I could even like open my eyes, I'm like, can I have a heat pack? Because like I feel like I'm being pulled backwards. I'm rolling backwards. I know I am. I'm just like, can I have a heat pack? And so they hand me a heat pack and I just put it on my stomach because I'm like, ooh, okay. I feel like I actually just got off my cycle. So that would have been the last day of my cycle. So I had just went through horrible cramps and pains and all the rest of that. So that's what it felt like for me. It was like cramps times 10. So I was like, oh, I'm just like doing breathing exercises to take the edge off. And so I'm just like, I'm just trying to like wake up. I don't have my contacts in. I'm extremely blind without my contacts. So I'm already like, oh, I'm not nauseated, which I just knew I was going to be nauseated. I'm always nauseated. Just like the wind blows wrong and I'm nauseated. So I'm not nauseated at all. And I'm really just like, so they're explaining to me, they're like, you were supposed to be woke up sooner, but your vocal cords were spasming. And so we had to give you a steroid and give you a chance to open up before we took that breathing tube out. So, oh, by the way, they asked me to drink that Gatorade at 3 o'clock in the morning because after the pandemic, apparently hospitals are short on electrolytes. I think that's pretty much what it was said. So I did drink a little bit of that, but I didn't know how much of that I was supposed to drink. So I was just like, sip. I don't want to throw up during my surgery. So, anyway, they explained to me what happened. They gave me the heat pack and they tell me this is what had taken place. And, I'm just waking up and it took me about 45 minutes to an hour. There's never a time that I'm just sitting though. My nurse is working on something. We're doing something, we're taking something out, we're getting dressed. Everything was up to me. Do you feel like you can do this? Do you feel like you can do that? I felt like I could do everything once I got my contacts in. And then I was in some pain. And they gave me a Percocet, but I'm very sensitive to medication, or I'm sensitive to anything. So I was like, I just need like half of that. I don't need a lot, but also I just woke up. I don't want to go right back to sleep. And I'm like, if you give me a heavy perk, I'm going to sleep. I'd rather be awake and deal with the pain so I could be coherent. So I know what I'm feeling like. So I'm understanding and I'm, like I said, coherent. And I know what's going on. So that's my goal, is just to get back to where like I know what's going on. My sister comes back. They explain to her my aftercare while explaining it to me as well. And my fork just fell. Sorry, y'all, I'm starving. But also, I know a lot of times there's certain vlogs I try to get out and I end up not doing them because I didn't do them in the moment. And I'm just like, oh, well, I'll just keep that to myself. My doctor comes and checks on me. She's like, everything went really good. She explains to me what happened. The anesthesiologist also explained what happened, and so did the nurse. So all three people did explain to me exactly what happened, why it happened, and that I shouldn't have any more complications after that, but that I would sleep longer than expected because of that. And so like 9 o'clock, I'm being released. They walk me to the front. My sister's there. Thank you so much. She turns on her seat warmers. That helped a lot with the pain. Also, I'm waiting on this Percocet to kick in. It kicks in. We grab some food, go home, and my daughter had a pallet waiting for me on the bed, on the couch, because apparently they told my sister she couldn't go up and down the stairs because her situation was a lot harder. But they just told me, be careful going up and down the stairs. And so I'm like, yeah, for sure. And then they gave me these images, which is I'm about to show you. And I should not have any more periods. My sister bled for 2 days, and I am like spotting. So I guess after 2 days, that's a wrap. And I'm just like praying. You see my fingers are like crossed back there? That I never have another period again, and that I can just live my life. My sister's been such a huge inspiration with this. There's times that I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go through with this, because I had court and so many other things going on this week. I had like whiplash at some point. I was in a lot of pain from that, or my daughter was going down the wrong way and snatched the car over. So I couldn't feel my entire right side. It was a lot this week. And she was like, come, you deserve to like get this relief. And now I will have my entire 30 days where I can work out, I can eat healthy, I'm not in pain. It's just been such a hindrance on my life that I finally get my life back. And I'm hoping and praying. They were saying also that just by removing that polyp, I would have relief and I wouldn't have super heavy, painful periods. So the fact that they did the polyp in the ablation, and my sister has been 1.5 years into it and has not had to have a period. So I am very grateful. I will not have a period again. From my understanding, I'm done with that part of my life. Thank you so much. I could just cry about it, because I'm like, dude, that put me through years and years of just like, oh. And then 2 weeks out of the month, it doesn't matter how you dice it. And I also understand, in women, I am sending you all my love, all my positive energy, biggest prayers. Women that experience that 30 days straight, you never have a break. Or, huge fibroids. Some women have experienced things that like make them look pregnant from it. I obviously don't have a tiny waist, so I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like if it's like a huge fibroid, and I've seen just a lot. Us women, we go through a lot of stuff, and like, definitely seek help, get help. I wish I wouldn't have put it off as long as I did, but like my first experience just wasn't good. And so I didn't want to go through that again. I tried. I did everything I was supposed to do, and I hated this outcome. And anyway, so I'm going to show you guys. So get ready. If you don't want to see these images, then don't look, okay? Because I'm about to show you right now. It's coming in. This is images. I'm going to flip it over. So if you don't want to see, fast forward. Okay, because still hit subscribe and watch my stuff, please. I'm trying here. So this one is, so the first one, the top one, is the polyp. This is the before and the after.
So they removed the polyp. I searched and searched and searched, like, what is a polyp? How did it get there? What is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? Because I've had full-term healthy pregnancies every time, so I didn't know and understand. I'm like, did the baby leave something? So you would have to do more research on the polyp. I'm not like I don't know. Okay, so the bottom one is the uterus. Now you're going to see the very healthy uterus, but then you're also going to see the burnt. So prepare yourself for this. So this is the very healthy, and this is the burnt. And then they gave me one more image. So like, I think this is like the final burnt. Yeah, this is like the final burnt. So if you're like me, like when I always wanted to see my placenta. I always wanted to see where my baby was housed, where was my baby's life. Also the placenta, normally like after birth, I always want to see my baby's placenta. Some people take the placenta home, they put it in pill form, they drink it, eat it. There's a lot of different stuff that happens with the placenta. Some people leave the placenta. If I was having babies with who I am now, I probably would have kept it on there and had all the flowers and herbs and stuff on the placenta so the baby's getting all the nutrients. Took the placenta home with the newborn. I never did that. Oh yeah, this is also a breathing machine that they sent home with me since I have to rebuild my lungs after going through that little situation. When I had the pandemic, pneumonia, and I don't know if I could still say it, and I also had blood clots in my lungs. Everyone kept asking me if I had this, and I was like, no, but they kept describing it to me. And they were saying, that's what you need to rebuild your lungs. And then they would go look for it, like at the hospital, and they would say they were all gone. They couldn't find any. So I guess because so many people were going through it, I never got one. And so I just was always rebuilding my lungs on my own. I have an inhaler. And so, yeah, this is, I need to basically let all the air out of my body. Then I pull into this like a straw here. I can do it for you so you can see it. This little happy face, this little green thing needs to go up. This little green thing right here, this little green thing needs to go up to the happy face. But then this green, I hope I'm showing you right. And then this little thing needs to raise up into here where the marker is. So basically, I need to rebuild my lungs. As I'm pulling, can you see? Let me see if I can do this. Let me sit up. So I'm giving it a real shot. She said do this 10 times a day until I could reach that marker and rebuild my lungs. As you see, this fluid is still coming out. But I could take another omeprazole. It's like a rapid release. I could take another one in a couple hours, so that's going to be helpful. Also, I got Chick-fil-A, and then I was drinking the lemonade, and it was so good. But I got like 25% through the way, and I didn't pass out. I just fell asleep because I was on Percocet. And so I was like having a hard time in my sleep, like trying to get air because of I kept going. So I'm like, what is making so it made it worse. I don't know why I did that. I wasn't even thinking like it's acidic. It's going to make it worse. It's okay. That was a good one. They're getting better. My lungs are doing really good because they weren't that tough for a minute. This was barely raising. And I couldn't get up that high, so I'm very grateful. I will continue to do this. I will build my lungs back, especially, it's going to help in the long run. Just in every aspect, I want my lungs to be strong as they can be. So yeah, I'm getting close. So it's 10 times a day. And then, yeah, I have like 2 days of bleeding or spotting because I'm really just spotting now. For a minute, I was like, uh-oh, I'm not bleeding. Is that okay? There's nothing, but I'm just spotting. And I can't wait to give you guys an update and let you know if my period is completely gone, if it ever comes back. And I know it's like TMI for some people, but for some women, I hope this really helps you a lot. And if it's something you're dealing with, I wish I didn't put it off as long as I did and just suffer. I feel like I've been like suffering in silence and not dealing with it because I didn't know how else to deal with it. Besides, like I said, I do like breath work, I do herbalism. I mean, I did try other routes in other ways. Yeah, but now I should be free and to start living my life better. I want to do another surgery just to get rid of some of my stomach weight, which is like a air sculpt. I'm gonna vlog that. I try to vlog this procedure, but a lot of the time I didn't have my phone with me, or it was just not a good situation, so I did vlog a little bit of it, and so I'm obviously gonna include that. I would like to know your ablation story. Hopefully my 2 ablation stories help you. Thanks so much for watching. I am going to lay down now. My daughter is making, maybe I'll vlog that. I'll show you. She's making Mexican street corn and baked onions, which sounds like, we're so non-traditional in this house. We do what we want. If it's like we're gonna have bacon and eggs for dinner and pancakes, we will. Sometimes financially that's what we're doing. but most of the time it's just like, listen, this is gonna be quick and easy. Who wants cereal? Who wants to have cereal for lunch? Like, this is what we're doing. So yeah, she's choosing to just have like what is it, like comfort food, and so that's fine. And I'll show you guys what that food looks like, and hopefully that's helped. Hopefully I didn't drag this story on too much where you guys are like, get to the point. Because I was trying to be detailed, but sometimes I'm watching a vlog and I'm like, dude, if you don't, you got 10 seconds to start your story or I'm turning it. All right, I love you guys for supporting me. And I'm excited about my new life, my new journey, and things that are going to take place. My daughter's moving out. She's going to be at her dorm. My life is just going to be different. You know what I mean? Like, life is going to be different, and it's come at a really good point where she could still support me while I get better and regain my energy. And I don't have to chase and lose my energy every month and be in pain. And like, God is good. God is good. So I hope this has helped. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button.
I guess I'm doing what I want. Hope you doing what you want. What you want?